could be good for the city if the right district plan is enacted, because there are some benefits to a district system. One is that I think you make those council seats more accessible to grassroots political candidates, because right now with the system being set up where you have to run on an at-large basis, that is a very expensive race for people who are not well connected or don't have well-known names, or who don't have the ability to either raise tremendous amounts of money, or who are not independently wealthy enough to the point where they can drop $100,000 of their own money on a campaign. There's not too many people that really fit that bill. So for many candidates, again, who are not well connected, don't have the ability to raise the money, and don't have a famous name, it's tough to get elected. Districts, I think, would eliminate that problem, because automatically the budget for a credible city council race would go down. You know, I mean, you probably cut that budget by 3/4 at least, depending on how you divided the city up into districts, which all of a sudden makes it less of a financial burden or challenge for a grassroots candidate. I mean, for example, in a district race, you can theoretically, if you obtain a good list of voters in your district, you can knock on the door of every single voter in your district and make personal contact with them, something that you can't necessarily do on an at-large basis. The other strengths of districts are that it does create a direct line of accountability between the people who live in a particular district and their council member, because residents at that point know, okay, that's my council member, so that's who I'm going to go to. And that's who I'm going to hold accountable.
Like, say if there was somebody in Southwest Detroit, for example.
Exactly.
And I've read this where, in, like, I think it was the Detroit News that talked about this, where if they had representation in Mexican Town, then they'd be able to say, this gentleman or this woman on the council,
that's my
that's who I need to
person.
talk to if this isn't getting handled, or if you're in Rosedale Park where I grew up, you can say this is the person I need to talk to, and have this taken care of.
Right. It creates a direct line of accountability, which you don't necessarily have right now. And I know there's some people that say, well, but you have 9 options at this point, whereas in a district you really only have 1. But you know, I mean, that's a debatable argument. I mean, that's definitely a debatable argument. I used to represent a district, and I know when I was a county commissioner, because that's the first major elected office I ever held, and I actually represented Southwest Detroit when I was a county commissioner. And the people there knew that I was their commissioner. They could come to me. And periodically what would happen is I would get calls from people that were outside my district. And generally my approach in certain cases was, well, I'm not your commissioner, so you should contact this person. You know, and in some cases, maybe if that person didn't have a good relationship with their commissioner and didn't feel that they would get good results, then I would just go ahead and take care of them anyway. But generally, the way I handle myself, and the way I think that you generally see people who represent districts, whether it's on councils in other cities, or who represent districts as county commissioners or state reps or state senators, they're going to look to take care of the people in their district, because they know if they don't respond to the needs of the people in their district, there's a strong possibility that they will be voted out.
And I also think about a lot of one of the most contentious things lately has been the Cobo deal, and the issue with the regional council, I guess, taking over Cobo. There's a lot of misconceptions about that deal.
Yeah.
And there's people, and I've talked to people where they say they're trying to sell Cobo Hall, they're trying to give Cobo Hall away. It's
right.
And I guess help me understand, or help me and help others understand exactly what the Cobo deal was, because there's so many misconceptions that when I've even tried to explain it to people, they kind of look at me like
it's kind of a moot point now, since the thing is on hold, at least for the foreseeable future. But yeah, we can talk about it.
I guess what was the Cobo deal? I guess I have to restructure the question there.
Sure. And what we can do, and